This is the biggest thing that holds many of the aspiring musician, music producers off.
Yes, it is so shocking how bad musicians are at connecting with other people. That's something I will say I tried to do and failed horribly.
You tell me to do one thing, I'm gonna do the opposite.
I don't feel like I'm accepted by music. So what you see on here is not what it looks like. Like I'm using because I use my phone to record, so it's like, it looks nice, but
that's good, because a lot of people think that, I need to buy a camera to start and all. Like, you record all your videos with your phone?
I record everything with my phone, and that's like
There you go.
a question I get asked about a lot. Because I was using a camera. I was using like a Lumix G7.
Oh, okay, because I
And-
was gonna say, like, your videos have like quality, like, like that cinematographic quality.
Sure, yeah. I try to, and I'm very surprised because, again, it's about ease of the process. Like, I want everything to feel like invisible, a part of the creative process, if that makes sense. So like, I don't want to have to fidget with camera settings or anything like that. So I just set my phone up right here, and then like I have my own LUT that I've created, so that way it doesn't look like iPhone footage, and it just makes things really easy. So that way I can like really focus on creating for the video instead of just like, oh, how does this shot look? Like, how does this set up? Or just like fidgeting with different settings. So the iPhone makes it like super
Because
super
then
easy.
I know you have like different angles in your videos, like, which helps with that storytelling aspect and cinematographic aspect. You just like move your iPhone.
I just move it. Like, I don't even like, this sounds silly, but I don't even check the angle. Like, I'll just like put it over here and I'm like, this is probably in frame. Because again, I want to set it up so I can get back to creating, because I find
Do you think...
I mean, it's good to step away from the creative process, but the least amount of like resistance that I can have while creating, I find just always garners the best result.
I think let's just put that back into perspective for any beginners that would be listening.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
When you started on YouTube, your videos did not look like that.
No,
And so
but
I
it's
think-
funny because when I started on YouTube, I was using like a camera, like an actual dedicated camera. And I have like other friends who are so talented, and they're like, oh, I want to make videos. And I'm like, do it. They're like, I don't have a camera. I don't have like a good microphone. I'm like, you have one that you carry in your pocket every day. Like, I don't think people care as much about, I mean, I think people care to some degree about the quality of the video and audio. Like, that is important to a degree. But documenting the process, like, to me, it's much more important just to document with what you have at your disposal versus like waiting to document until you get something, because you're missing out such a good story to your timeline and your growth. So yeah, for any newer creators out there, you can do it with your phone. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm doing this with right now, my phone.
Yeah, I think the point I wanted to bring attention to was that you started with a camera and your videos didn't look as good as what you do now with a phone. So I think it just goes to show that it's not really about the gear, but how, like, because all of those years, like, I think I checked and you started like 9 years ago on YouTube. I think I just wanted to show that, like, to highlight that part, that it's just doing it over and over and over again. You just got better with the whole technical aspect of filming yourself.
Sure.
And so it was more about how you use those tools rather than what tools you were using.
Yeah. And if I could say something to that as well, like, it wasn't easy to do that. Because like my most viewed video on my channel right now, it was filmed with my iPhone, but the haziness, it's like an effect called halation. It's like a nice, like halation and bloom. It's a nice vintage film looking thing. And like, it was way too much. And even I knew it was way too much when I was editing it. I'm like, ooh, this is like, and it got pointed out. Like, people in the comments were like, hey, I like this video, but this halation and bloom and filter that you have is so distracting. So it's like,
Interesting. I love it. I personally
thank
love
you.
it because I think in my opinion, that's what makes you stand out. On this video, how many comments do you have pointing that thing out?
There's like 2 or 3, I would say.
Yeah, and the video has 172,000 views.
Yes.
So to me, in my opinion, like 2 or 3 doesn't matter at all. It's just because like it's hard when you watch comments because like you're gonna think like, oh my god, everyone is talking about it. But then when you put things in perspective, like so many people actually liked it, which is why you have that much views on this video. But there's just like silent, happy viewers. Like I'm one of them, right? Because like most people, like often that leaves like comments like that is because they're not like good viewers or whatever, right?
Yeah, I agree with that to an extent. Because there's times, obviously as creators, we have a lot of battles with our inner monologue, right? When we're creating something. And I've come to the conclusion that the reason that we tend to overthink about the things we do, whether it's like the music that we make or the videos that we make, is because we want others to feel the same thing that we felt making that thing. If that makes sense, or like this thing that resonates to us, we want people to also resonate with it in that way.
Yeah.
And for a long time, like especially like when I was around like 5,000 subscribers, that's when like the criticism came in.
Started,
And I felt very, very confident about what I was doing, and I'm like, oh, I can't listen to those people, or I just gotta block those out. But there have been like critiques where my initial response was to like just disregard that, like, oh, like what does this person know? But I started listening to some of them because within that there is a valuable perspective to get. So like the people who talk about the filter, like that was an insecurity that I had about it. I'm like, this is probably too much, like I don't know. So seeing that feedback made me kind of change the way that I do things, and I actually like my videos much better now because it's like just trying to constantly develop and get the look of something right. I knew that that's not the look I wanted, so like these little comments that people left, it was like, okay, that's affirmation.
If you relate to it and that it makes sense to you and it aligns with what you also think as a creator, then yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't have also the other perspective, or for example, if I would have left a comment saying like, oh my God, love the style of your videos, like to me, it makes you stand out compared to the rest, right?
Sure.
Because also I come from movies, so I love that kind of style. To me, it makes it look like so cinematographic. Like I feel like I'm following you inside a little short movie on your studio session, right? So like I love that. I prefer that. But I think that's just because you didn't have that other perspective because the people that liked it just didn't tell you.
Sure.
But if it's a comment that aligns with what you were already thinking, then yeah, absolutely. It's just finding that balance of like what to listen to and what not to listen. Because like so many times I'm gonna have like the two sides of the same comment, like, hey, there was too much bass in this song that you made, and the others say there's not enough bass, like boost it. And I'm like, well, you know. So yeah, it's definitely a choice of like what comments you should listen to, what feedback you should listen to, and what you shouldn't. And it's definitely hard to navigate.
It is, because I had one recently. It's really weird how like comments, I feel like I remember a lot of comments.
Yeah, apparently.
And I'll tell you one comment that was not very nice, but it actually helped me out a lot. I wanted to be somebody, because like I feel like I have a very unique perspective when it comes to creating in the creative process. And for a little while, like I had like less than 5,000 subscribers, I think, was when I was doing this. I was trying to do like 5 things that you need to know about having a better creative or like tried to like list or put things into like lists, if that makes sense. And I got this one comment once. It was like, damn, I'm so tired of this. What did they say? Influencer. They called me an influencer. They're like, I'm so tired of everybody trying to be an influencer. And that comment was like, okay, this is the point where I have to pivot my content because I don't want to feel like this. What I love about your content, I think for an outsider, it could be very easy for someone to have that same perspective. But to me, you have a lot of substance with what you speak on. And in this moment, I didn't think that I had really that much substance to base things off of. So I literally changed the way that I make videos. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make music, and the lessons that I want to teach are going to be within the videos. And if I'm not going to force someone to learn this by looking at a camera and telling them what to do. Instead, I'm going to show them. And if they get it from my videos, then they get it. So that one like comment that felt like a knife in the heart actually like helped.
I think that's
awesome.
I think that's awesome, especially of like how you took it and then how you used it to get better. Because a lot of people could be like shutting down and giving up altogether. But it's like, it's this fine line of like this, like, you know, being tempted to follow the algorithm game, like the influencer game, to get the views and the subscribers, because you still want your work, you know, your hard work to be rewarded. And on YouTube, that kind of like starts with that. So it's very easy to be tempted to go that way. But then you also have to remember why you started in the first place, and that it all comes from the music passion and things like this. And it's something I've been struggling as well for like a very long time. I never really had that kind of comment, to be honest. I don't know why.
Probably because you're more watching you feel very confident and authentic about the information that you give. And it's very transformative.
Because I think like there's this cohort that I'm in right now, because you know I always like to take courses, and it's a cohort that I took like 2 years ago, but because I have like lifetime access to the next ones, I just am taking it again, you know, just to see what's updated and staying on top of, you know, the new ways of doing things online. And he talks about this thing of like you have to decide if you're a guru or a guide, and that's exactly it. Like, I decided to just be a guide, like since the day one that I started. And so, authenticity to me was like very important. And that's something I tried to keep as much as possible in the front of the videos, and just being like you, like, hey, hop on the journey with me. If you learned something, you know, like I'm just going to report what I learned. But it's very hard because sometimes I do feel like I had some videos where it was more like I was trying to be a guru. I was trying to just do the videos for the algorithm of like, oh, it's going to work or not, right? And, you know, you just learn over time, right?
Yeah.
But it's...
Well, that exact perspective is what I always try to maintain. Like even in my mentoring program, like that's the first conversation that I have with people. It's like, hey, I'm not a guru. I am a fellow traveler on the same path that you're on, because being a creative, and I feel like really, really inspired and creative lately, just because I have this new kind of respect and outlook on how a creative lives. And even somebody like Rick Rubin, for example, he's still learning. And all of your favorite musicians, producers, whoever it may be, like there's not a point to where they, like even John Mayer, you know, guitar aficionado, like he's still learning. He like, it's the life of a creative is dedicating yourself to knowing that you are going to live 80 to 100 years not finding the answer to something. And if like you can accept that, then you're able to live a more creative and artistic lifestyle. And like that's again part of my channel. I really try to focus on acceptance of failure if something doesn't go right, and keeping mistakes in and understanding that mistakes are vital to the process, because the day that you don't make mistakes with things, you're not challenging yourself and you're not growing. So I've learned that being a student, a lifelong student,
being a student for life,
keeps you fresh.
Yeah. So you were saying that right now you're in a phase where you feel very inspired creatively, like very clear on where you're going. Can you talk a bit more about this? Because like, I relate to it a lot because I feel the same as well in the last like month. But it's not always like this. It's like a roller coaster of like some periods you just feel like nothing goes well. You don't know where you're going. You don't know if it's worth it, all the efforts and all this. And then you have those periods where it's like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this weird different perspective I have. I feel like there's almost like this creative renaissance that I'm seeing, especially on YouTube, where people are getting away from hyper edited, fast paced stuff, and they're kind of embracing the mundane. And my whole life, like I've always wanted to just like feel a sense of normal, if that makes sense. I don't want to be normal, but as far as like what I feel, and I really started to like investigate, like, why don't I feel normal? Because I feel like when I was a kid,
but what's normal?
It felt normal. And what I found was I invest too much of my time, energy, and emotion into things that don't reward me. Like Instagram, just scrolling or watching YouTube videos all day, like just the normal stuff. We all know that a phone is bad. we all know that reading is good and it's going to help you. But really doubling down and getting rid of all that stuff on my phone and just embracing, like every evening, my wife and I sit on our back porch and we hardly talk to each other. We just look at the trees sway and listen to the birds, and we embrace the moment of like reality. It sounds like a woo-woo thing.
That's very interesting, because the reason I feel like I finally have that clarity that I didn't have in the last year and a half since my last burnout is because I've heavily reduced my screen time. I'm very conscious about what I consume, like which content I consume, who I follow. And I completely rearranged my life in terms of exercising way more, eating healthier, journaling every single night, taking the mornings for myself, not work yet, making more music. Like, as you said, it's like, as I start to look more inwards, I think that's how I was able to be like, you know what? This is what I truly want to do. And I feel very confident and very aligned with this direction, creatively and professionally. So it's very interesting that you found the same results out of the same thing, really.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's kind of like nutrition, right?
Yeah.
What you consume is what you become. That's one of my favorite quotes. You are what you give your attention to. And if I, give my attention to Skibbity Toilet for 8 hours, then I'm probably going to produce something that is of that same garbage. Or I can go for walks. I can go for runs. I can go to a museum downtown. I can read. I can consume food or resources that are good for me, and therefore my output
is going to be better.
Is going to be much different. And it's like everybody is on this morning routine kick and everything like that, and it's not about necessarily like waking up at 5 a.m., taking cold showers and doing all that stuff. It's about just finding a sense of inner peace and what works for you. Yeah. And a steady pace as well. Like
honestly, my mornings is just watching my favorite TV show, because then the rest of the time I just don't have time. Yeah. So like right now I'm like rewatching Smallville. My 15-year-old, girl teenager me like is like very happy with that. I do a couple Sudokus, I listen to chill music and then I get on with my day. But like that's my morning routine, and like that's like the piece that I need to start well, then I do a little bit of work, then I go for exercising, like a run or tennis this afternoon. Then I come back and film videos, do some music, do some business stuff. And then I spend the evening quality time with my fiance, and then a little wind down where I just journal before bed. And it's been working a lot for me recently.
Yeah, because that's the thing about, like, even if you, for those who like consume, let's say you're consuming like really good content and it's artistic and it's inspiring, even obsessing yourself with that is still taking you away from yourself. Because like everything that you just said has to deal with self-reflection and looking inward and understanding who you are. I think a lot of times the doubts and the hardships that we have are because we're avoiding that. Exactly. That's why I also journal. I'm a big journal guy. And it allows you to kind of access a part of yourself that other things don't allow you to access that. Like I can't think about myself if I'm watching Instagram reels, or even if I'm, like I'm saying, I'm watching like people create beautiful things on YouTube all day. Yeah. I'm still not facing myself. And something with that, like, yeah, sure, you can change the content that you consume from like slop to like something artistic, but consuming too much of that when you go to create also creates a unrealistic expectation of what you're going to create, because you're not spending more time actually just creating. You're watching people who's like, wow, this is really inspiring, to it's kind of like a burnout thing. Like I try to end my videos with one message. It's like, thank you for watching. Now go create something. Yeah. I don't want people to watch another one of my videos after they finish a video. I want them to go create something. Same thing when I watch your videos. It's like, oh wow, I really need to work on my business. I shouldn't like the best YouTube videos in our space to me are something that causes you to rise up to an action.
I've had a lot of those comments recently in my very recent videos where they're like, dude, you lit a fire under me. Like I actually just filmed a video. Like actually I made a video recently about why you should document your journey on YouTube as a music producer, musician, DJ, whatever. Yeah. And a few comments honestly were like, yo, just, love this video, just recorded my first video. Thank you so much for the push. So many comments like this. And I was like, yes. Like if I can drive people to take action after they watch my videos, it's like perfect.
And I want to ask you too, what does that feel like for you as a creator when someone's telling you about how you've changed the way that they do business, the way that they create? Like, what is that feeling for you, and how does that motivate you and move you to keep going?
That's the whole reason why I started this channel in business in the first place. Like, there's this 7 levels deep exercise from Dean Graziosi in like, I think Millionaire Habits, 1 Millionaire Habits book that he has. That's an exercise I give my students all the time as soon as like the first lesson. And basically it asks you to find your why, your purpose, like why you do the things you do, like what drives you. And basically it's like, why do you want to be successful first? So you answer, and then the answer you go, why do you want that previous answer? And then you just repeat 7 times to really go to that deep core why. And to me, my why is that I hate to be useless. Like I want to be useful. I want to be like helpful for people. Like I want to help change their lives, to have like a positive impact in their lives. And so, for example, my first mentorship student just quit his job like last week. So like, that's like my first that I'm like, he literally told me the words like, thank you, you changed my life. And when I heard this, like I have like, a smile for 1 week, chills all over my body. Like I'm so happy that I was able to help someone go full time with his music and his YouTube channel. And so, yeah, honestly, like every time I see this, I'm like, yes, like this is what I want to do. Like I put out a free course. Someone told me that they had reached like new goals, new clients, just thanks to that to that free course. Like seeing people consume and take action, then it makes it worth it for me, like all the struggle, because I'm like, at least it's useful for people.
Sure.
So yeah, that's really what lights me up, honestly.
No, that's awesome. I feel very, very similar to that. A little of my background, like I was a touring musician for a long time. Like when I had a career in music, essentially.
You still do.
What's that?
You still do.
Well, I still do. It was like I have like a 3-part evolution to where I am today, and it started off with being a touring musician, and I never felt that. I was never honest with myself about what I wanted for. Like I wanted to move people,
right.
And it's very hard to do that it's in a live setting, in a live music setting, believe it or not, because at least in America, live music it's in an interesting place. To where, you know, there's a lot of money to be made in live music. It's just really hard to consistently do that. And once you do, you're kind of like stuck on this weird level. It's a really, really interesting and weird thing that happens to people. And I never felt like I could move people. It was just like, okay, I show up for the show, play the songs, people are there, then they go home and carry on with their lives. Like that wasn't enough for me. And what I do now, I get very similar comments to what you get. It's like, you know, I get people who are like, I put down music production for like 2 years and you've inspired me to pick it back up again. Like helping other people find their purpose is my purpose. Like I very much resonate with that. And it feels good to, I don't know if it's like an ego thing, but it feels very good to just to be a stepping stone for others.
Yeah, I think, you know, like, sure, we can be happy to help others and all, but like if it makes us feel good in the same time, like, might as well. And obviously you'll always have a little bit of ego, as long as it's like a good ego, that's fine.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
But I it's weird because I never foresaw, is that a word? I don't know. I never saw it coming that this would be kind of like the route I'd take in music. And I guess I don't know too much about your whole history. Like, I've been following your channel for a while, but like, where did you start with music production?
Yeah, I was going to ask you as well the same question, like to tell us about your 3-part evolution. So yeah, for me, it's just like I was a visual effects artist before, and I kind of like, when I was like a kid, like 4 or 5, I did like choir, music theory, and I think I was pretty good at it. So like my teachers wanted me to do like piano to get into like all that stuff. But I was a very rebel kid, like stubborn kid. So you tell me to do one thing, I'm going to do the opposite.
Yeah.
So I went into sport, let go of that music thing. But then more and more around like 16, 18, I was getting back into music. I was listening, like I'm not spending one day without music. It's impossible. I got into guitar as well, you know, things like that. But I was too shy to record my own songs and sing in front of people. So again, I let it on the side and I went into visual effects. And then when I had achieved my visual effects goal, like I was like lighting and compositing artist on feature animation films, I was like, all right, now I have time on my hands, like evening, mornings, weekends. What do I do? Well, maybe it's time to try that music thing again, because as I matured, I started to not care anymore about people judging me. And so for a while as well, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, but was too shy as well. But at this point, being 25, I was like, you know what? F that. Let's just go for it. Because like I watched like Blanks. I don't know if you know Blanks.
Oh yeah, that's why I have a YouTube channel.
Me too. Like I saw his channel and I was like, wow, this dude like reminded me how I feel about music, like this overexcited feeling. And I was like, you know what? I should also share that with the world. And you know, my passion for movies, it's like YouTube, making videos with music. Like it made sense. So I was like, you know what? I read that book. Like I was a lot into self-development. I read that book from Gary Vee, which I remember only one line is like, document, don't create. Like that's all. And this like hit me hard. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to start this new thing, like this new creative hobby from scratch, from zero. Let's just document it. And so I created the channel. And so the first song, the first video you see on my channel is the very first song I made. It's the very first video I made. Like, yeah, it's really the beginning. And so, yeah, that's how I started. Because I was like, you know, maybe I can help other people starting after me with what I'm going to learn along my journey. And yeah, that was it. And then, you know, little by little, I ended up now actually helping people doing the same, you know, making money from their music full time on like online. Yeah. What about you?
Gotcha. I started, my dad was like a really big classic rock guy. And I would just like listen to CDs with him, and I was like just so awed by like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and Metallica. So I was like, when I was 7, I was like, Dad, can I please have a guitar? And he got me a guitar.
Nice.
And I was just obsessed with it. I didn't know what to do with it, but I was just like so determined. I'm like, I'm going to play it every single day. Even if I don't know a single chord, like I am just going to obsess over this thing. And I still have, like, it's that Strat right there on the wall. That was my first guitar.
I had the same.
What's that?
I had the same.
Oh yeah, everyone starts with the Squire Strat. Yeah. It's the best, dude. Like, come on, there's no other better guitar to start with. But I just became like obsessed with creating, and I wanted to have a band. I wanted to tour. I wanted to do, like, by 10 years old, I'm like, I'm gonna tour for the rest of my life. That's what I'm deciding I'm gonna do. So for like a really long time, from pretty much like when I started high school, like that's when I was like actively gigging out. Like I would go to school during the day, and then 3 nights a week I would go out and play shows. And
that's cool.
It was neat because, like, I had other friends who were, working at McDonald's, and not to crap on those people. Like, this isn't what I'm trying to say at all. But I would make like 3 times the money that they would make like working a whole week in one night. Like it was crazy. So I became like just, again, super obsessed with that. And then it started to come to a halt a little because like I had other friends who were touring musicians and they're doing really well, but they were also always away from home. They were never around for like birthdays or holidays. Like I would hear horror stories of them on the road with their RV, just like a tire flying off while they were driving, or like the whole bottom of it like coming out, like just these things that I'm like, man, I am like really, I'm not the strongest person emotionally, or at least at that time. I was like, if that happened, like I don't know how I would cope with that.
Yeah.
And I fought that for a really long time. So like after about 10 years of that being my life, I decided I would much rather not have to do all that. And I want a wife. I want a home. I want a dog. Like I want these things that just like feel normal, because what I'm doing now doesn't feel normal and it doesn't feel sustainable. So that's when I quit playing live. My family was super devastated because that's all they knew. They thought like everything about my music was over because they knew how much I cared about it. So that's when I got a 9-to-5 job, and I started making YouTube videos of just making songs because of Blanks. I was like, oh, well, this is like really interesting. Like,
so why?
And this was at the time Blanks wasn't playing live either.
So
he was just
What made you start the YouTube videos? Really, like, why did you want to start a YouTube channel? Was it like to continue having a tie to music? What was it?
I think so. I think the goal of it was to kind of, because before, like as live music came to an end, I really didn't like music. I really was like frustrated at it because I felt like this has been my whole life and I don't feel a payoff from it. I don't feel like I'm accepted by music. Mm-hmm. It was a really deep thing that I went through.
Okay.
So I kind of just rejected it for a while. And then, like I said, when I came across Blanks, I'm like, man, this guy, he's like, I mean, he tours now, obviously, but at the time he wasn't touring. He was just a kid making music in his bedroom, you know, like he was just doing his thing. I'm like, that's really cool. I think I want to try that. So that's when, I uploaded I say my first video. It's not my first video. Like everything before that was like covers. Yeah. But I uploaded my first video of me just making a song, and it took off. Like not like a big scale takeoff, but it was enough to be like, maybe there's something to this. Like maybe this is the direction that I should go in. And I started creating more, and people started showing up. It was really interesting. And then eventually, like, again, the last move of Metamorphosis is now I'm doing this full time, and I get to work with people, and I get to help develop musicians. It's really cool now.
It's crazy that we have the same person like Blanks that inspired us to get started. Have you ever talked with him?
No. And I don't know if you have or not, but I think maybe we should like clickbait this video of like some kind of drama, like Blanks said what to me, and just like totally just lie so that maybe we get his attention so he can just hear, hey, we want to talk to you.
I talked with him, so we don't need to do that.
Damn it.
But yeah, because like I met him when he came here in Vancouver to do a show. Like I took tickets and I went. And after the show, he was like chatting with people. So I went and like got a picture with him. And then, I don't know, like maybe about a year ago or so, he messaged me on Instagram because he found my videos saying like, "Wow, they're so inspiring." And I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, you're the reason I started. And I told him that already at the time in Vancouver. But like, yeah, I sent him the photo like, yo, we met. And he was like, no way. Like, that's awesome. So yeah, that was a crazy like fangirl moment.
I gotta get his attention somehow.
Or like,
I don't know what
close
I'm gonna
the loop
do. I don't know if you know Dayglow.
No.
He's an indie pop artist. He makes very similar music, or I guess Blanks makes very similar music to Dayglow. Like they kind of do like the sort of the same thing. But he was in my comments recently, and that was like a big thing for me, because I'm like, this guy's like part of the reason why I do stuff.
Crazy.
So, Simon, hit your boy up. I want to talk to you, please.
I'll let him know. But yeah, no, sometimes like I'm asking like, at what point do I think I can message him to be like, yo, let's do something together, you know?
Dude, now's the point. I'll be honest with you. Like I reach out to people all the time because I feel like, I'm like, you know, I have a decent audience. Like, I think that's enough for me to reach out to somebody. And that's something crazy is like, a lot of times they respond.
Yeah,
like I don't expect people to respond.
Actually, that reminds me, I wanted to talk about how we both connected together.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people often ask me like, how do you guys connect with people? Like, how do you like not network, but like, how do you talk to people almost? Like, how do you socialize? And because like that's the thing with social media, like sure, of course it has a lot of cons, but it has also a lot of pros, right? If you use it correctly. And yeah, I remember, I think the way it happened is like, first of all, I started once your channel like really took off, it started to be blasted in my feed. And I was like, who's that guy? It keeps popping in my feed. So I was like, all right, let's check it out. And then I was like, whoa, that's a really cool video. So I watched a couple of your videos. And then one day I was doing a live stream on my channel and you were there. You sent a comment in the live chat and I was like, yo, I know you. I've just discovered your videos. And that's when I said like, send me an email, like let's connect. And you did. And then we hopped on a call and just chatted for an hour and then decided to do this video. But yeah, be social, like hop on the live stream of the people that you follow and that's it.
Yeah. And like, that's something too. Like, I mean, from what I've learned, most of the time you're not if there's someone that and then I'm talking to the audience, if there's someone that you want to connect with or reach out to, chances are you won't be pesky, but you do want to put like thought and consideration in how you reach out to people and how you connect with people, because the only reason I believe that I'm making music full time is because of the relationship that I have with others. And I feel like long are the days where like, musicians can be like, oh, cool and mysterious and like to themselves, and people will find me. I'm just gonna like be in this corner. It's like, no, dude, like we have the internet now. No one's searching for you. You have to put yourself out there for other people.
This is the biggest thing that holds people off. Yeah.
What's that?
This is the biggest thing that holds many of the aspiring music producers off. Yes.
It is so shocking how bad musicians are at connecting with other people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because we're like artistic and shy.
A big part of that is that. But yesterday I saw a video, from like that guy like Ask Vin about like, he's like about communication, like to be a better communicator.
See the guy with the really thick glasses?
I don't
Or
remember.
I might not know who this is.
I don't remember. But anyway, and like he's in his video, it was like a very short where like from a presentation that he was doing, because like this guy is like huge, like 4 million followers or whatever, tours the world in big companies to teach people how to communicate. Yeah. And he basically said like most people that are like technicians, like that have like a technical ability, like, you know, like us making music, if we're 10 out of 10 doing our ability, but we're a 2 or 3 out of 10 at communicating how good we are at that thing, no one will know that we are a 10 out of 10 in that ability. And so that's exactly the thing. I was like, dude, like that's exactly it. You can be as good, like you can make as good music as you want. If you're not good at communicating it, marketing it, or sharing it, no one will find it. No one will know how good you are. Like that's just plain as like simple as that.
Yeah, and it's so silly to me how, because like I feel like I am very blessed with the way my videos pop up, because like I genuinely, and look, everybody listen to her about music career advice. I am very lucky because I don't have to think strategically about thumbnails or titles. I just put it up, and I feel like I'm very blessed by the algorithm. But
that's a question I had for you.
There's so many people who I feel like are very scared to promote themselves because they don't want to come across as egotistic or self-centered. But it's not. Like anyone else in any other profession does this. Like my wife is a hygienist. If she doesn't have good communication with her patients, nobody's going to go to that office because they can't feel like they can open up about their problems, or they don't feel it's necessarily like a professional environment. But like there's a good 3 C's rule that I follow like with any communication, and that's to be clear, crisp, and compelling. Clear, just like don't word vomit. Like just get to the point. Be bold about what you're saying. I guess that kind of falls into crisp as well. Yeah. Like sell yourself. Like don't be afraid to like look sharp and to be there. And then compelling, like stand by your craft, you know, like really be confident in your musical superpower. So it's gotten me really far. I feel like I wouldn't be where I am in the trajectory of where I'm going if it wasn't for good communication. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's all a mindset thing. I know people might think like, oh, it's boring and all, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Because if you, like all of it is like limiting beliefs that you have. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And the only way you can get through it is with, you know, a stronger mindset or being more mindful about identifying your own limiting beliefs. And it's always a battle, but yeah, it's like mindset is like 90% of the battle, 10% is like the actual work.
Yeah.
Like that's...
Well, it's the same thing with production, I feel like.
Finishing a song or not.
I tell people in my program, like before we even touch an instrument, I'm like, you need to have a certain mindset for each. There's like, again, music production, I feel like is one of the hardest things to really grasp a firm mindset on, because it's different for everyone, obviously. But what I tell people, it's like, okay, there's several different mindsets that you need to, it's almost like hats. You put on a different hat per whatever part you're doing. If you are writing out a drum part, don't be in the mindset of a producer as much as you should be in the mindset of a drummer, because that's going to make for a better performance. Same thing with other instruments. And then guess what? When it's time to produce and really elevate something, that's when you exist in the mindset of the producer. And like what you're saying, it's mostly about the mindset that you put yourself in over the actual technical, because the technical is going to mess with you so much, in my experience, because you're going to overanalyze things. You're going to write unnecessary parts for whatever you're doing. Whereas if you just exist in the mindset at that moment of a drummer, you're going to think like a drummer. A drummer would do this, and it makes it so much more simple. So that's how mindset. It's such a buzzword now, because like all the crunchy almond moms on TikTok are using the word mindset for everything, but it's important. Trust me, it's important.
Yeah. So I wanted to bounce on the next topic, which was like the monetization part? Because I know we talked a lot about like growing the audience, the YouTube part, finding the right format, the camera gear and all that. But last time we talked, I know you were saying you were about to launch your first offer for your audience. Like you were in the midst of starting to monetize that audience after like growing the audience.
Yeah.
How has that been going for you? What did you like struggle with,
It's right now, I'm in this weird transitional period where I feel like I like threw a bunch of things at the wall.
Yeah.
And really am homing down on what is sticking and what I feel like benefits other people as much as it rejuvenates me. When we were talking, I launched it's kind of like a group program, and it was all one-on-one calls, and it took a lot of my time away. Like it was like I had like 10 to 15 calls a week. And these were like hour calls with people. And I love having these one-on-ones, but it did not make me feel sane at all. So I now have a dedicated program that actually has like an end goal in mind instead of just meeting with people consistently and kind of just going, all right, what do you want to learn? So there was a lot of learning that was done with those people. But I've learned as well, like as far as monetizing your audience, because I never want my audience to feel like I'm just selling them something for the sake of me making money off of them. I really try to be thoughtful about what I put out there. And it's always, the intent is always to help others, obviously. So I have this dedicated program. I have quite a few students in it right now, and it's going really well. It's a 90-day mentoring journey to where my goal is by day 90, you're making the music that you hear in your head. And it's specifically about music production. Yeah. So I have that. That's like my high ticket thing. And that's where I can like really take my time and work one-on-one with people and manage my life and time.
It's good that you started with like the high ticket offer, because most people start with like the low ticket offers because they're afraid to sell like higher tickets.
Yeah.
But that's not really sustainable, or like that's like super long because you just need volume for low ticket offers.
Yeah. And that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, if I just price this super low, everyone's going to rush in and it's going to be good. But there's certain sacrifices that you don't really realize in the moment that you're making. And I always heard this advice, people saying like, don't price too low, not for the sake of like, it's not about necessarily making less money or making more money. Like money is not the objective here. Money is a fruit that you get to pick from this tree that you grow out of someone's life that you change. Yeah. So yeah, it's a high ticket offer. I'm working with less people than I was in the last program, but I'm making the same, if not more money. Yeah. And the quality is that better. I'm able to give to these people because I have the bandwidth now to meet with them. I don't have 15 meetings a week where I'm just like, I can't keep up. Yeah. So that's been really well. And I also just started releasing Logic preset packs that are specific to like the music that I make. So that's my low ticket. Yeah. And those do really well, surprisingly. Like the first, and I'm not scared of talking about like actual money, but the first week I put them out, I made $3,000 off of them. And it was like crazy because that's a lot of money, of course, but it also, now I feel like I have a responsibility to continue to develop and make great things for other people so they can really level up what they're doing. And they're not just bound to what like, Logic tells them that they have to do, or just like scrolling through sounds. It's like, hey, this is what it sounds like. If you want this, here it is, and it's going to help you. And it continues to fuel me. It's really cool getting the feedback from people about like what they want from a pack, because that's the beauty of it too. Then people start telling you exactly what your next step is. They're like, oh, I would love an indie folk pack. Yeah. Guess what? make one. There's a market for it. They tell you exactly what you want. And I just feel so blessed and so grateful for the audience that I have, because I feel like I was really scared to monetize my audience, because like, again, you don't want people to just feel like cogs in a wheel and to feel like people who are going to buy your products. Like, when you put the intention of like, hey, I'm going to put something out that is going to help someone else, it makes for a much better experience for everyone all around, and people like really support it, and people will be really into it because of people just need guidance. And if you give it to them in the right way, like they'll stick around.
It's pretty cool, because everything that you're saying, I'm like, that's everything someone should say, like should do. Like, you're doing the right things in the right order. It's quite impressive. Now, I think just for background, maybe I think just to give the context, like the background as to like you already have years of experience selling something online with your other business.
Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily my business. That's just someone that I work with. So I did get a lot of experience. But
you get the experience and knowledge from that.
There's a lot of knowledge from that. So just for context as well, my transition from like my full-time job to being a full-time creator on the internet, there's a company that I found called Studio Z, where it's a production company that makes music for brand campaigns, like scoring, essentially. It's like film scoring, but for commercials. So like, usually you hear people talk about commercials, you think of like cheesy jingles, but like, when's the last time you watched an Audi ad and it felt like a cheesy jingle?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty legit music. But I went through this academy that basically taught me how to do it, really connected with the owner of it. His name is Tommy Z. And he kind of like took me under his wing. I'm still working with this company today. And we teach musicians how to basically break into that field and how to sustain in that field as well. So yeah, there's so much learning to that, because I'm learning not just how to like communicate with others in the business, but I'm also learning how a successful mentorship program should be set up. And that really gave me a lot of confidence, especially for the high ticket, on what to price it at and to be confident with that pricing, because of the transformation that you provide to someone. So like, it sucks too, because like there's a lot of people on the internet who want your money for a very low reward that you get out of a program. Yeah. So it's very like, it's very hard. And in like 2024 was our hardest year as a company, because there was such a trust recession, and that was like the peak of guys on the internet trying to sell people stuff that they don't need. So we really had to like figure out like, okay, how do we reestablish ourselves, and how do we make people who could be potential great candidates for our academy not feel like we're just trying to take their money. And a lot of that came with personalization. And that helped me a lot with my content as well. It's like, I hate calling it content, but my videos, people want someone that they can relate to. And this goes back to like the first thing that we're talking about with the fellow traveler, not a guru. Yeah. So that's why like, again, people gravitate toward you, because you don't position yourself as a guru. And learning that and learning the right way to pitch something to someone and to show someone that you have something of value.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time and it's hard. Like, kind of like you, like when I first started trying to like monetize the audience, or just like making money from doing this so I can continue doing it. I just, same as you, like throw things at the wall and see what sticks. But I definitely failed on a few products. I don't think not a lot of people remember that, of course, but yeah, definitely humbling, and you learn a lot from it, and then you make it better. But yeah, like learning to market yourself, to talk about your product in like a confident way as well. I think that's like the part that is for me really hard, because as I position myself as a guide, not a guru, it's kind of like hard to be like, to like have that confidence of like, yes, take this product, like you should, because it's gonna help you. Like it's hard, like it's hard, you know, because it's like I don't want to sound like that, but also to get people to buy it so that I can continue doing my thing. You also need that part, so like it's a really fine line to balance.
Well, even with that, like every person, whether or not you go with the Making Music for Brands Academy that we have or my Production Academy, it begins with a conversation. Like I don't allow just anybody to sign up and buy it, because anyone who goes through the program, you are my experiment, right? You're like, if you don't get this, then that's a reflection on me more so than it is for you. So it starts with like a live call. Like I don't
to get the right
make any
person
decision unless we have a conversation. And there's been people I've had to turn away from the program because I'm like, I think you need more time doing this before you can consider this.
Yeah, for mine, it's a lot of mindset. Like for mine, like my mentorship program as well, like I do the live calls as well. And it's like a lot of them, I'm like, you don't have the mindset. You're not ready to put in the work. And I can't really invest 6 months into someone every week if they're not going to do the work. Because I can teach them everything, you know. It's like you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink it. Right. And so, you really have to make sure that you get the right person in, because otherwise it's like kryptonite, you know, if they don't succeed. Because then it's going to reflect bad on you, but it's like, you know.
Yeah. And going back to that too, something I wanted to mention about failure, one thing I totally forgot about that I would love for everybody to know, with monetizing my audience, I saw that as a really big opportunity for me to work with people as a music producer and to produce other people's work. So I started taking like all of these things on at once, with like taking production jobs, selling the packs, working with people as a mentor. Yeah. And I crashed and burned so hard, and I failed so hard with the production aspect of it.
Oh, same.
Like being a producer for other people. Yeah. Because I couldn't manage. It was too much. So like that's something I will say I tried to do and failed horribly, because I ended up working on a few projects and I messed up. Like I was humbled like really bad, because
I did a couple.
My time was not where it needed to be.
It's funny, like, because I have the same experience. I did a couple because I still wanted to have the time, you know, to produce for others. But yeah, it was hard. So now I was taking super long to deliver. And because like at the end, you know, after like on Thursdays, I have like 4 hours of mentorship, like back to back. After that, I'm done. Like I have no mental space for creativity at all. Like I'm done for the day, you know? So it's right now I'm in a next phase of my business where I'm trying to hire a bit more, like outsource more to really like optimize and automate and outsource all those like back end repetitive business tasks, like admin tasks that you need to do, so that it can free up like, I don't know, 10, 15 hours of my week, so that I can take more, you know, I have more time for my own music, and I can take more of like, just focus on the creative part of the business, basically. Like that's the like next phase that I'm going with the business right now. And it's pretty exciting, to be honest.
I bet.
Yeah.
I've been talking to, I don't know if you know Nathan Larson or not. He's another creator. He would be a really good person to have a conversation like this with as well. He's a plethora of knowledge. Oh my God, I don't remember where I was going with this point. How embarrassing is that?
Nathan Larson, what was I saying? What the heck were we talking about? Why are we having
I don't know.
Like
right I
now?
feel like this whole time I've been in therapy. But one thing I do want to mention, and I guess I want to ask you this as well. There's a book that really, really helped me called Essentialism.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like,
it's effortless
again, we mentioned earlier, like about the one big why.
Yeah.
You got to find your why. What I've learned is like many musicians or music business people will tell you you have to diversify.
Yeah,
your
doing
income,
1,000 things at the same time.
To a degree is true. But be very selective about the time and energy, because I'm not saying it's easy to make a lot of money in the space. It is not at all. But I found an opportunity where I'm like, I could make like 14 grand a month just doing all of these different things. And it was all like $2,000 here, $1,000 here. It's like, instead, what I've learned is to really hone in on like just a couple things and maximize those things. So like when it comes to like preset packs, I'm like, okay, this is how many I need to sell. I know if I put this many videos out in this month, this is my number. So it's just like defining those things. Really, really helped a lot. And that's where I was going with Nathan. He's the one who really helped guide the essentialist approach and aspect of everything. Yeah. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about, is like, doing too many things basically. And it did the same for me. At first I tried like 6 different things. Like, I was like, I'm going to do that much with this, that much with that, that much with that. But it's if you divide your attention and effort towards like 10 different projects, you're just going to make 10% progress. Whereas if you go all in like 1 to 2, you can do like a massive improvements. And that's exactly like that student I just told you about, like from the mentorship, that just quit his job. When he came to me, he had like, I don't know, 12 to 15 different offers that he was doing, like making a little bit of money with. And I told him, like, we need to choose like 4 to 5 maximum and to go one by one. And when he came to me like December, he was averaging like $800 a month, and now he's about like 3,000 to 5,000 a month in like 5 months. Because that's pretty impressive. Narrowed down what to focus on, and then go one by one, starting with the high ticket. Like, that's it. You have my 6-month mentorship program. No, I'm kidding.
And it's hard because like I feel like creatives,
you get too many ideas as well. Like, we get too many ideas. Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. It's hard to focus.
Exactly. And it's not that it's necessarily hard to focus. It's hard to discipline yourself to take on one thing at a time. Like, especially like for me, when I put out the first preset pack and it did really well in a couple of days, like, it was crazy. I immediately was like, I'm going to do like 5 more packs right now because this is insane. But I realized like that's so, oh, hey buddy.
Hey.
I realized that it's so much better to really let something marinate and have better planning and to pace yourself and kind of just let things build up over time. Because you don't want to just sell your audience just stuff over and over again. Like, you can have one really good product and just promote the hell out of it and make long-term success out of that. So that's what I'm kind of realizing. It's like, I think I'd rather have like one big preset pack that's really well priced that I can continuously talk about, and
I think as well for you, doesn't get fatigued. It makes sense because that's a product that you can literally show organically in every single video that you make. And my mentor called that sawdust. It's like basically what you already use. Yes. Just package it and sell that in all your videos because you organically use it either way. Yeah. But
Tom, I'm a big Tom Noski.
Oh, that's
fan.
him.
Oh.
That's him.
Yeah, okay, yes. Yeah, I saw you in one of the, he had
testimonials.
Like
student success stories. Yeah, that's me.
Now it's coming together.
Yeah, so Tom, I'm in his mentorship kind of thing, where we have a call like every week or 2, and it's just nice to have someone to be like, yo, I'm thinking of doing this for the business. Do you think it's a good idea? And like, yes or no. Like, this way it just removes doubts. And yeah, basically, like, I'm big fan as well. And you probably really like, yeah, that's him that says about that sawdust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone asked me recently, like, do you have a mentor? Like, do you think we should invest in a mentor? How do you find a mentor? And I'm like, yeah, I still have a mentor to this day, for the next phase of my business. Like, I've achieved this, but now I need to go there. And so I just changed mentor to, find someone that is where I want to be, that did it in a way that I want to do it, learn from them, shortcuts, a bunch of mistakes, obviously I'm still doing some that you learn from, but.
I have found in my experience, this is something I thought about the other day, because I feel like I've had like a really good pace of connecting with people who like I aspire to be on that level or to do similar things to them. Again, you're one of those people. I feel like almost, because again, you don't want to, this sounds like you're using people. That is not what I'm trying to say at all. But always find someone, in my experience, always find someone who's like just one level higher than you are. Yeah. Because if I'm level 0 and I want to connect with someone who's at level 10, I find it's very challenging just as a level 0 to connect with that level 10 person, but it's much easier to connect with the level 1 person. And
that's this relatability
it's so cool because I feel like I'm growing together with these people and I'm always like moving on to the next step. And having a mentor in that regard. Like, I don't know how I would be able to do what I do now or a lot of other people without having some kind of guidance from a mentor in the space.
Same.
Like, like what you said, a mentor can like really help you with things that you don't know about. Like, how do I know what I don't know about?
It's what
There's someone who went through that.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what you don't know. Like, invest in a mentor. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, it's such a groundbreaking perspective like YouTube's in a cool place because I feel like we're finally shuffling out all the crappy mentors that are just like, you just got to give 110%. And now we have people who are like, no, actually, like, this is how you develop a business plan. And who are like super real about it. Like, that's why I like Tom, because he's like, what he gives out for free and what you give out for free, for example, you're not just trying to sell someone something. You're trying to like help and change people.
There's some people that are going to be able to use your free content to figure it out by themselves. But the majority, and like me included, it's just like nothing is like organized step by step, in the YouTube videos. You don't have, like, for me as well, what I like about having a mentor is that peace of mind. Because like I have so much doubts, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I focusing on the right thing? Am I taking the right decision? Am I not losing my time on this, right? And so it's just nice to have someone that is where you want to be. You can just ask the question and instantly they're like, no, don't care about this. Like, for example, I asked him, like, recently, I was like, I'm still struggling between the like music production videos versus music business, like social media growth videos. I feel like I'm stuck between the two because like my audience tell me they want music production videos, but every time I do this, no one watches. It's crap stats. But music business, social media growth videos, everyone watches. It's my best performance. And I honestly think I'm really good at that part, whereas I'm not the best at music production. And so he was like, don't listen to your audience. Just do your thing. And I was like, you're right.
That's crazy. I can totally picture him saying it just like that too.
Oh yeah.
Just like this super simple answer.
Oh yeah. He said, Aurelie, you seriously got to stop giving a about what your audience says.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Because like, I think like for growing an audience, it's good to listen to your audience. But then once you have like business related things, you can't, because most of the time your audience, like, they don't know what they want. Like, you got to show them that you know them better than they know themselves.
Sure. And it's also just about your perspective too, and about what you want to share with others.
Yeah, honestly, I feel more aligned with this direction as well, because I feel like music production, like, sure, I have a certain vibe and all, and I still like to do some of those just for my own creative, enjoyment. But in terms of like adding value, I don't think I'm adding that much value in the world by sharing like music production, like tutorials per se. Whereas I feel like I really have a certain way of doing this online music business and, like this music creator thing. I feel like I can really add value there because not a lot of people are talking about that path yet. And so I feel like this is more aligned with that. Like, I feel like I help more people by doing those kind of videos that I enjoy making rather than the others.
Sure. And the tutorial place is
I'm
a
tired
hard
of
place
it
to be
as
in
well. Like
as
tutorials,
well.
I'm tired.
And-
Honestly, like it's not fulfilling. Because most of the time I think it's like, oh, cool, that was great. But it's not, it doesn't have substance because people just watch it and feel like they learned. But until they actually put it in practice, they haven't really learned it. Whereas the videos that I do about like, why you should document your journey, like here's 10 content ideas, like video ideas you can do to promote your music. Then those videos are the videos that gets comment like, yo, I just did that and it worked. Thank you. Like, oh, you pushed me and I did it. Like, thank you. And like, that fulfills more to see people taking action on things that I help them with rather than like production tutorials that are just like adding nothing really to what already exists on YouTube. So
yeah, and whenever people label my content as, God, I hate that I just call it content. When people
videos, same thing.
Label
music is content.
My video, what's that?
Music is a type of content. It's the same.
I mean, it is, but like the word content, I feel like is a dirty word right now.
No, we just need to.
Because like even your videos, like I don't see that as content. I see it as a resource over content.
I like that.
To me, content is very liminal. It's just something that you consume and move on from. Whereas what you do, it's a resource,
I like that.
But with my videos, I try to steer people away anytime they like, oh, this was a good tutorial, because tutorial means that I'm showing you how to do something. Whereas in my videos, that's not what it is
It's
at
more
all.
like how
it's
I
just
do
a demonstration of the creative process. And when you're doing tutorials, like I feel like that comes from like a place of authority to be like, hey, I know how to do this and you need to listen to, I'm not like crapping on tutorials necessarily because there are great tutorials out there. But as a creator, the times that I have done tutorials have been my most critically received videos, where there's not the nicest people in the world in your comments because they're like, this isn't how you do that. Like, why are you here? Like, so it's like getting away from that space.
I think this is why
really good.
For a very long time, I veered off the how-to videos to the how-I videos.
That too, because it's your perspective.
It's just like this way. It's like if someone says like, this is not how you should be doing this way I can separate myself from, well, that's your opinion. You can do it however you want. I'm just doing it this way. I'm showing it. And then if you take something from it, great. If you don't, find someone else. Like, yeah.
Well, and again, you have the results as well for something. Like that's why I feel really comfortable with my videos. And if I mess something up, because I know that like, this is for me. It's not to show someone exactly how to do something. It's just, hey, I'm just sitting down, recording me making music. And if it sucks, hey, I'm still going to put it out. There's something to learn here, no matter what. I'm not sitting here telling you how to do something. I'm just showing you how, like exactly what you're saying, how I do something.
Yeah.
And I feel like people really resonate with that because, I don't know. Again, going back to the trust recession right now, like, I don't think a lot of people really want to be told what to do. I think they want to be shown how to do. I don't know if that makes sense. One comes from like a place of authority and like what we're talking about, the guru.
Yeah, I think you're right. Guide. It's more about like, wow, like she or he achieved this like in a way that seems awesome. I want like, let me learn from that person rather than, yo, you should stop doing this, but doing that instead. I feel like that is kind of like over a little bit. And even like I feel like as a creator, like doing those videos, I feel like I enjoy doing those more, the how I and just like sharing my own journey, know?
Because there's a lot. You're a very relatable person, and I think people like I look at Tom's videos, right? He is obviously on a way other level than we are. I mean, you're probably closer to his level than I am, but he feels like a very relatable person.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can see myself in him because he shows a lot of no BS, very humanistic things. He doesn't have to sell you something. And I don't think people want to feel like they're being sold something, or I shouldn't have to convince someone to enroll in my program. They should convince themselves because of what they see within that creator that they resonate with. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is something that I'm always trying to be very mindful of, is like, how can I be authentic, relatable, but still like admirable as well, so that people want to learn from me rather than someone else. You know, it's kind of like this. But yeah, I think that reminds me as well, like when we were talking about like the pricing as well, I wanted to come back on that because I know, for example, today I saw a comment on my YouTube videos that say like, please make this course for free, or make a course for free. And I'm like, well, I have a few already, but I can't just make everything for free because I need to eat, you know, like, I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to make like 100K a month or whatever, right? I don't need that, but you still need to like respect your time and value that you provide. And sometimes it's just like frustrating to see that, or people also saying like, whoa, that price for that course, come on, like this is way too much. And it's like, first of all, you have no idea what the course is, you're not inside. And second, if you don't see the value of it, then you're not the target audience. So pricing can be really hard.
I have that internal fear a lot too. Because I try to have other perspectives in other industries, like, okay, how much would someone pay for a personal trainer? How much would someone pay for cooking classes? How much would someone pay for X, Y, and Z? Why is it socially okay for these people to teach other people, but when you're on the online space, then it all of a sudden feels very taboo? And again, like I said earlier, I think it's because there's a lot of people on the internet who kind of left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths with their
I think there's
BS.
that.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a part where when it comes to something that is from the art, like creative, there's a ton of purists, like art purists, that just say like, you know, come on, it's art, you should be doing this for free, right? Like for the love of the art, right?
Yeah,
and it's just not sustainable. Exactly. It's like
why do you want people to be
stay a starving
artist
if you want?
When people's favorite bands blow up.
But I won't.
Like, why do you want them to be poor?
Yeah, so I think there's a big part of that too.
Sure.
And it's still something that I have to fight, but I think I kind of like stopped fighting because I think it was like intrinsic, like of like, I think now I feel very aligned and very good with where I am and why I'm doing things that I do. And so I think those comments don't affect me as much as before. I'm just like, you know what? You're just not the target audience. Like, you're just not for me. Like, if you don't see why, like, it's also up to them to see the value in it, you know. That just means if they think that, you know, I think my course is like $897. If you think that amount is not worth making full-time income for the rest of your life, then like, I'm not the problem. Or it's just that it's not what you want, and that's fine. Do something else. Like, that's completely fine. But, you know, so yeah, I just stopped caring about that.
Yeah, it's like college. Like, you will spend way more going to school to learn something that isn't specific to what you want to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, because again, especially with the arts, right? Like, if I see someone who's doing the thing that I want to do and they offer that resource, I personally, if I can't afford that thing, and this is just me, I know I'm very, very blessed with what I have in my current situation and everything. But if I really wanted to learn from this person and I knew that this would change my life, I would. It's not like an immediate thing. It's like, well, why do you think that you have to necessarily invest in it right now? How about you do things that will help you to invest in something like that? Because if it's that worth it, you
just
will
save up, find a way to.
Honestly, people objecting a price for anything, they're kind of doing you as a business person, they're kind of doing you a favor because they have already decided this is not for me because of this one objection.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you buy something. I would rather work with less people and have better results with those people than just to, like I said, get as many people in.
I think you were saying as well, like, about like trying to keep your prices like affordable or low or whatever. But like, in my experience, it undervalues your product or service, and it attracts the wrong client. Because like someone that is like trying to get something super huge for cheap, they're not going to put as much effort and work into doing the work that is necessary to get the results. And so I find that then it's just a waste of my own time as well. So, because
it becomes a commodity. It's not that valuable anymore.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, because I think, here in America, our economy is not so hot. things are very expensive right now. So like, I get it.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's, I forgot where you are.
Canada, Vancouver.
But it's, I promise we're still friends. All right.
We
no
are.
matter what happened, I promise we're still friends. We don't hate you. I promise, Canada. I promise we don't hate you. But like, people are very sacred about their money, and I get it.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it takes, and that's why like having so much content out there, like you have a lot of videos, I have a lot of videos. There's plenty of evidence to show that you know what you're talking about and that you are serious about what you do. So like, I don't know. I feel like anyone objecting it at that point, it's just kind of a personal thing.
Again, like if someone objects it to the price, like feel free, like everything is for free on my content. It's just like not organized. You don't have my personal feedback. It's like that next level of like done with you kind of stuff. But there's still everything for free. It's just going to take you like 2 times longer, but it's still achievable, right? But I really learned to detach myself from this like price objection. Because also I think one thing that is hard for people like us, because I think we're pretty similar in like wanting to help people. And like my problem is like I'm a big people pleaser. And so it was very hard to get to accept that I cannot help everyone.
Yeah.
But as you said, you can't do like 15 hours every week to each student, right? Like you have to also have a price point that doesn't allow everyone to enter because you just can't help everyone. And it's sad. It's just the reality. So,
it sucks. It sucks not being able to.
But again, there's still the free content.
Because like, if I had all the time in the world, because the people that I have these conversations with and the people that I work with are genuinely really cool people. And there's a lot of people with really good intentions and really good hearts. And I've learned that you really got to separate that feeling, because it just sucks, man. There's no other way I can say it. It just sucks that I can't meet with all these people because they're so nice. And like, I feel like I have one of the nicest audiences.
I think you do, for sure.
They're so nice and they're so supportive. And I want to connect with them and help them as much as I can. And it's just so... I'm one person. I only have a limited amount
this
of
is
time.
why right now I'm trying to scale the business with like a bigger team, because first of all, I don't like working alone. It's very lonely, and I'm more social. I like having those conversations. I like having people to bounce ideas with. And so I'm trying to reduce my like repetitive business admin tasks time as much as possible, so that I can hopefully do more, of those other things, help more people, take in more students, but it's definitely, it took a time to get used to that idea and just being okay with it. But at the end of the day, you also just need to think about yourself as well, and like making just at least what you need to like eat and keep your roof, So luckily I'm blessed as well that I made a bit more than that, so that's good. And I can enjoy my life, but it's a hard thing to accept. All right. Well, I think it's been going on for a long time.
We've been going on for almost hour
for
and a
almost
half.
2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome chatting with you. I think it's all like deeper conversations that not everyone talks about, but that are very important conversations for anyone that wants to do what we do. So hopefully you were able to get some nuggets of information. And yeah, it was very nice for you to come on the channel, give us your time and your experience, your knowledge. Thank you. I hope you had a great time.
I did. Thank you very much for having me. Like I said, this is the first time I've been on someone else's channel. So I didn't know what to expect, but I'm really grateful anytime that you and I get to have a conversation, regardless if it's recorded or not.
Yeah.
Like you're a plethora of great knowledge and great conversations.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love hearing your points of views as well, like your perspectives, your experience. I think there's also so much to learn about. So yeah, thank you for sharing all this with us.
Absolutely.